We're here today to call upon the United Nations Human Rights Council and all special rapporteurs and mandate holders to redouble their efforts to ensure that a visit on the ground in West Papua to investigate the human rights of the West Papuan people takes place, and the Indonesian government facilitates that visit as soon as possible. This was first agreed by Indonesia in 2019. We're still waiting for this visit to take place. This is the number one request and priority for the International Parliamentarians for West Papua.
We are fighting for to secure the peace. Our struggle is about our forests, our mountains, our rivers, because Indonesia not only committed genocide West Papuans, but ecocide are carried out. Indonesia massive deforestation in West Papua. People of West Papua are voiceless. I'm concerned if we allow this happens. West Papua, maybe the black people, they exist there, but maybe next 20 years West never exist.
It's important for governments to adhere to international human rights law, and that is just as valid for the government of Indonesia, the government of Israel, the government of Russia, for every government that's a party to the United Nations. And the United Nations has a responsibility to investigate whether there are breaches, and there's clear evidence of breaches, and there is very clear evidence of breaches in West Papua. I'm in Brussels next week meeting President Puigdemont, where we're going to discuss this matter again, raising this with the European Union, and we will again, the IPWP, the ILWP will again be in Geneva.
Exile conditions do not allow me to travel outside the EU. First, let me say that I would like to join this international call for a visit by the United Nations High Commissioner for Human Rights to West Papua. Mr. Volker Turk must be authorized by the Indonesian government to report on the situation of serious human rights in West Papua. Although 100 countries have officially requested the United Nations Commissioner's visit, Indonesia is still denying the access to the region. We all know that states that violate fundamental rights and use repression as a tool to suppress political dissent try to conceal their shame and unacceptable behavior. There is an overwhelming amount of human rights reports.
Extrajudicial killings, enforced disappearances, and of course the destruction of the environment. We're seeing ongoing repression of protests, disproportionate use of violence.
Commissioner for Human Rights to the region is urgent and absolutely necessary. We believe that the reports of serious human rights violations in West Papua have to be taken into account. We believe that the international community, especially the United Nations High Commissioner for Human Rights, cannot avoid the issue any longer. Indonesia must support, facilitate mechanisms by the international community for the full respect of human rights, for the full respect of the rights of the West Papuans.
The International Parliamentarians for West Papua, IPWP, held a major meeting in the UK Parliament yesterday, October 18, 2023, calling for the UN High Commissioner for Human Rights to be urgently allowed to visit West Papua. The IPWP meeting was held to support the recent communiqué issued at the Melanesian Spearhead Group, MSG Leaders Summit in August, urging Indonesia to facilitate a UN visit to West Papua before the next Leaders Summit in 2024. Indonesia promised to facilitate a UN visit in 2018. 5 years on, they are no closer to allowing the UN access. Over 85 countries have now called for the UN visit. This includes all member states of the Pacific Islands Forum, PIF, the Organization of African, Caribbean and Pacific States, OACPS, the European Commission, and individual nations including the UK, Spain and the Netherlands. At Indonesia's Universal Periodic Review, UPR, last year in Geneva, 8 countries, including the US, Canada and Australia, expressed profound concern over the human rights situation in West Papua and urged international investigation. The IPWP meeting was hosted by Alex Sobel, UK Labour MP and IPWP Chair. West Papuan independence leader Benny Wenda addressed the crowded room, along with Jennifer Robinson of Doughty Street Chambers and the International Lawyers for West Papua, ILWP. MAP and President of Catalonia, Carles Puigdemont, and Senator Gorka Elejabarrieta, both IPWP vice chairs, addressed the meeting by video link. Demonstrations took place across West Papua over the past 2 days in support of the meeting. Benny Wenda said, "I welcome the MSG communique, but words have to mean action. Even since the MSG meeting, Indonesia has killed many West Papuans and tortured and displaced even more. Melanesian leaders should ask themselves, are we trying to save West Papuans, or are we allowing Indonesia to carry on their occupation with impunity? The MSG and PF must do all in their power to secure a visit." Carles Puigdemont said, "If Indonesia has a serious commitment to become a member of the part of the international community that respects human rights, there is no other alternative than for Jakarta than to facilitate the UN High Commissioner's visit right now. I reassure you that our just struggle for a free West Papua will continue in the European Parliament and at the European Commission." Gorka Elejabarrieta said, "We believe that the reports of serious human rights violations in West Papua have to be taken into account. We believe that the international community, and especially the UN High Commissioner for Human Rights, cannot avoid the issue any longer. Indonesia must support and facilitate mechanisms of the international community for the full respect of human rights and the full respect of the rights of West Papuans."
Selaku Perdana Menteri Professional Government dan seluruh jajaran Federal Police, Solidaritas Perempuan Malaysia, Mesbadoa United Migration Movement West Papua, dan seluruh kabinet dan mewakili 7 gubernur, Professional Government, 7 wilayah pemerintahan mengucapkan selamat untuk berlangsungnya International Parliamentarians West Papua 18 Oktober di Parlemen House United Kingdom untuk menyikapi komunike Malaysia Group untuk segera berkunjungnya Komisi Tinggi Asasi Manusia Perserikatan Bangsa-Bangsa di West Papua atas dugaan pelanggaran HAM, pelanggaran hak asasi manusia yang telah berlangsung lebih kurang 60 tahun lebih, dan Papua sedang menuju genocide, slow motion genocide. Oleh karena itu, Professional Government menyatakan juga selamat datang, welcome to High Commissioner Human Rights West Papua, Human Rights United Nations to West Papua. Kami bersyukur, berterima kasih untuk Malaysia Group yang telah memutuskan komunike Malaysia Group 23-24 Agustus 2023. Kiranya West Papua menuju kepada the right to self-determination, hak untuk menentukan nasib sendiri, karena terjadinya pelanggaran berat hak asasi manusia di West Papua selama integrasi politik lebih kurang 60 tahun, sejak 1960-an sampai 2023. Kiranya High Commissioner dan komunike Pasifik menjadi blessing, menjadi berkat bagi West Papua. Papua merdeka! Papua merdeka! Papua merdeka!